Most people think the UAE is safer because it diversified beyond oil. The contradiction is that diversification made Dubai richer, but it also made Dubai more dependent on something it cannot control: regional stability. Jebel Ali and Jafza account for 36% of Dubai's GDP, aviation supports 27%, and Dubai attracted AED 526 billion, about $143 billion, in property investment last year. By the end of this video, you'll understand why an Iran war threatens Dubai first through logistics, flights, property, and confidence, and why that matters for your job, your rent, and your money here in the UAE. Let's start with the biggest mistake in most coverage. People hear Iran war and think oil prices. That matters for Abu Dhabi. It does not fully explain Dubai. Dubai's model is not built mainly on pumping oil. It is built on movement: ships docking, planes landing, tourists arriving, companies routing trade through free zones, and investors treating Dubai as the easiest place in the region to park capital. That is why the UAE's trade openness reached 184% of GDP in 2024, and why non-oil trade in goods hit 3 trillion dirhams. This economy is highly connected because that is how it got rich. The same openness that creates opportunity also creates exposure. So yes, the Strait of Hormuz matters. But the pipeline story people repeat is only half true. The UAE does have the Habshan-Fujairah pipeline, with capacity of around 1.5 to 1.8 million barrels a day, which lets some crude bypass Hormuz. That is real protection. It means the UAE is not fully trapped by one choke point. But that pipeline only moves oil. It does not move container cargo. It does not lower war risk insurance for shipping. It does not keep conference travelers calm. And it definitely does not protect Dubai's property market from a regional risk premium. In other words, the UAE has an oil workaround, not an economic workaround. And this is where economics becomes geopolitics for the UAE. Jebel Ali is not just a port you drive past on Sheikh Zayed Road. It is one of the main reasons Dubai works at all. Jebel Ali handled 15.5 million containers in 2024. Jafza recorded $190 billion in trade volume. Together, Jebel Ali and Jafza contributed 36% of Dubai's GDP in 2023. That means when freight rates jump, insurers raise premiums, or ships reroute, this is not a distant maritime story. It feeds into import costs, inventory timing, warehouse activity, trucking demand, and eventually prices in shops and hiring decisions in offices. If you work in logistics, customs clearance, retail distribution, construction supply, or manufacturing, this is where the shock shows up. There is another layer that makes this worse. Dubai's trade machine is being hit at the same time the world is already getting less open. Emirates NBD warned that rising global protectionism and tariff escalation can weigh on Jebel Ali's transshipment volumes. So even without a war, the system was already facing pressure from a world fragmenting into blocks, tariff walls, and strategic supply chains. Add an Iran war on top of that, and Dubai is dealing with two forms of friction at once: geopolitical danger in its neighborhood, and a global trade system that is less friendly to hub economies than it used to be. Now look up from the port and look at the sky. Dubai welcomed 18.72 million international overnight visitors in 2024. Aviation supported AED 137 billion in economic activity in Dubai and more than 631,000 jobs in 2023. Across the UAE, IATA says aviation and aviation-related tourism supported $92 billion, 18.2% of GDP, and around 992,000 jobs. That means a regional war does not need to physically shut Dubai to do damage. It only needs to make flights harder, insurance costlier, routes longer, or travelers more hesitant. When that happens, hotel occupancy softens, retail slows, restaurants feel it, taxi demand shifts, and employers get cautious. This is why a geopolitical crisis in the Gulf quickly becomes a wage and job story inside the UAE. Which brings us to the title number. There is no verified $100 billion collapse sitting on a government dashboard right now. The more serious truth is this. Dubai has built well over $100 billion of confidence-sensitive activity that depends on foreign money believing the city remains stable, connected, and easy to do business in. In 2024, Dubai recorded AED 761 billion in real estate transactions, AED 526 billion in investments, and 110,000 new investors. Property in Dubai is not priced only on local salaries. It is priced on capital inflows, regional safe haven demand, tourism strength, service sector hiring, and the belief that Dubai stays open while its neighborhood burns. A prolonged war does not need to destroy towers to hurt that market. It just needs to make enough buyers, lenders, and developers ask the same question at the same time. Is the Gulf becoming structurally riskier? And here is the complication most analysis skips. Not every part of the UAE experiences this the same way. Abu Dhabi can benefit from higher oil prices and has partial export protection through Fujairah. Dubai, on the other hand, is more exposed to trade, aviation, tourism, and foreign investor mood. So when people say, the UAE will benefit from higher oil, ask, which UAE? The Federation has buffers, yes. But Dubai's commercial model is more sensitive to hesitation than Abu Dhabi's fiscal model. That is why IMF Regional Director Jihad Azur said this war could be more disruptive for the UAE than a traditional oil shock. Because it does not just hit energy. It reaches airports, trade finance, tourism, and services. There is also a short-term versus long-term split. In the early phase of regional panic, Dubai can still attract money. Wealthy families, businesses, and investors often move toward the most functional, best-connected city they trust. So yes, some capital can flow into Dubai during a crisis. Some buyers may even accelerate property purchases. But that only works as long as Dubai is seen as near the crisis, not inside the risk zone. If war drags on, if shipping insurance stays elevated, if flights remain disrupted, if tourists start choosing other hubs, then the safe haven trade weakens and the broader risk premium takes over. The UAE can cushion a shock. It cannot repeal geography. So what does this actually mean for people living here? If you work in logistics, watch freight costs, customs volumes, and delivery timing. If you work in aviation, hospitality, retail, or events, watch flight schedules, hotel occupancy, and business travel. If you are in construction or real estate, watch whether transactions keep moving at the same pace once foreign buyers become more selective. If you are a job seeker, pay attention to whether companies start postponing expansion. And if you send remittances home every month, remember that rising import costs can reach your budget even before a slowdown reaches your employer. The real lesson is not that Dubai is doomed. It is that Dubai's strength and its vulnerability come from the same place. The city became powerful by turning itself into a node in global trade, global travel, and global capital. That creates upside in good times. In bad times, it means geopolitical stress travels into daily life faster than many residents expect. And that is the secret most headlines miss. The danger is not just bombs or oil. The danger is that war can interrupt the circulation system that makes Dubai feel normal, safe, and constantly growing. So here's the question I want you to answer. If you work in logistics, aviation, tourism, construction, or property in the UAE, have you already seen this change costs, hiring, or demand where you are? And do you think the UAE is truly insulated, or just buying time?